Hey guys, welcome to another episode of MP Talk, the official MP First podcast where we talk about the multiplayer games we love to play. And today is a special episode because we're rounding off the year of gaming that was 2014, and we're gonna talk about the games that we thought really nailed it, maybe about some of the games we didn't, and some of the games we're also looking forward to in 2015. And I have with me today a cast from the MP First staff. Let's introduce them right away. I got Alex. You guys may know him as Boss Jedi Zohan. I have Denny.
Crazy stuff.
Right, crazy stuff. Yeah. Denny, you guys all know Denny. You guys all know Jimmy. What's up, man? Hey.
Nothing
And
much.
you guys know Tom.
Hey, Super Bowl was rigged.
Straight rigged. Straight rigged.
Wish
I don't
it
even watch
9/11.
Yeah, we could spend this podcast, I guess, talking about the Super Bowl. It is Super Bowl night.
Or not.
Yeah,
But,
screw
no,
that.
we're gonna talk about video games instead.
Video game.
Yes.
So
Guys,
it's
you're
pretty
nerds,
simple
talk about
layout.
video games.
I've asked these guys to pick 3 games, their third favorite, second, and first, for their best multiplayer experiences of 2014. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just kind of go around in circles. We're gonna start with the third pick. We're gonna go backwards with the second pick, and then forward again with our first picks. And we're gonna talk about some of the games in 2015 we're looking forward to. Also, this podcast is gonna go live around or at the exact same time as the written award article for our staff picks. So, and in the article itself, you'll get to see a couple picks from some more staff. So, it won't be just us 4 here. And then we're going to use that to then pick sort of our ultimate winners for 2014. At the same time, our multiplayer or MPX 2014 Reader's Choice Awards are also going to go live, and that's what you guys, the listeners, and our audience has picked as your favorite games of 2015. I haven't even checked the standings yet, so I don't even know. I know what the top game is right now, but I'm not going to tell you guys.
Dare you.
My
You
money's
can
on
guess.
Master Chief Collection.
My money's on Destiny or Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
My money's on your mama.
Oh no. No, let's keep this clean, boys.
3.5 gigabytes.
Yeah.
He said clean. Damn it.
Hey man, I didn't
No, I'm
say
just
nothing
kidding. I'm
about
just-
no AMD or anything.
No, this is a an 18A rated podcast, right? Right?
It
We're
is
okay with
now.
that. It is now. All right. So why don't we get into it? So everybody, I want you to think about your third pick, number 3 pick for MPX 2014. I have to situate you guys in my head in sort of like a circle here. Let's go with we'll go Denny's on my left again. Then we'll go with Alex, then Jimmy, then Tom, and then myself. So Denny, you're up, buddy.
Yes. Oh, damn
What's
it.
number 3?
I forgot.
You forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. I have my
It was
top
Titanfall.
picks. No, I don't think
Was
it
it
was
not?
Titanfall. No, I think I'm actually scrapping one of my picks that I used to have. Oh, yeah,
okay.
it was Advanced Warfare, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick that anymore because after playing it for a little bit more, I've kind of,
Okay.
it's kind of
well.
it's kind of lowered the list. But what my third pick would be is actually Insurgency.
Oh, what
I'm
a
gonna go with-
copycat.
I'm gonna-
I told
yeah,
him
I'm-
before this podcast that was mine, and now he's copying me. Okay. Yeah.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Go ahead.
Solid comment,
Yep.
David. I tried
Go
to
ahead.
warn you.
I know.
So
I'm just kidding, man.
Insurgency would be my third pick because it definitely is a tactical shooter that I've been looking for in a way. You had Battlefield, and then you kind of had Call of Duty. I mean, if you could even call it that. And it was like a mid ground between like what people wanted for Battlefield hardcore mode. And so when David actually introduced it to me and I read the review, I picked it up and I fell in love. Like, it's just a wonderful game.
It really is, yeah.
Wonderful. Sweet. All right.
So
let's
yeah,
go
that's
with,
my that's my third pick.
It's a good third pick. Who did I say next? Alex.
All right, so I picked Dark Souls 2 as my third pick,
Nice.
and
It's a kind
I
of
love
quirky but
Dark
cool
Souls.
pick.
Yeah, I love Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls as a series is just listen. Dark Souls 1 is a masterpiece, and if you debate that with me, you've never beaten the gargoyles, and you need to shut up. But but no, Dark Souls 2, I picked it because while it's definitely not the best Dark Souls game of the series, it is the multiplayer is just there's nothing like it out right now. Like there's co-op games and there's multiplayer games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. And that's all fun, but like there's no game where like you're like really cooperating on like sort of a grander scale. Like it feels like when I get summoned by someone or I'm playing with my friends, like it feels like we're on a quest. Like it feels like the goal is to help someone succeed in our party. And with other games like co-op games and stuff, it always feels like you're just kind of progressing a story or earning unlocks. Like it never really feels like you're helping anyone. And I think
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 really nailed like that like aspect of like the reason you're here is to help me, bro.
That's cool, man.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Don't thank me, thank Dark Souls.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, I know it's poetry. I know.
Jimmy, what's your third pick, bruh?
What was it actually? I think it was Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, it was Grand Theft Auto Online. It's a remaster. I mean, it came out the prior year, but I mean, the PS4 version is just above and beyond of what a
Yeah, and
remaster should be.
I haven't dived into it yet, but everybody's saying that first person mode is like really a game changer.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it just changes everything how you play the game. I wasn't really expecting it to be that well. I was just expecting, it's just first person Call of Duty style. But I mean, you get to walk around the city, look at people. It feels more lifelike, to say.
Yeah, 'cause you're like in the character's shoes rather than looking at them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
but-
that game's already
Exactly.
so immersive, and then I guess putting it in first person is just that whole other level. That
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
Exactly. And like
Rad.
the online multiplayer, I mean, going from what was it, 16 to is it 32 players
Yup,
now?
32.
Yeah, it's just insane. I mean, that was my issue with the last gen version, where the player cap was just too low. Everyone was spread out on the map, far too far away from each other. And now it's
Right.
like a bunch of people is in the city, and then a bunch of people in the countryside.
That sounds so
hunting.
fun.
So, it's a lot of crazy stuff in it as well with the repurchase.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. All right, Tom. Third pick. Tom's got some awesome picks, by the way.
I do.
Really
I'm
quirky.
actually switching my third pick to Insurgency because that seems to be the
That's
popular
the
thing
cool
to
thing
do
to
here.
do?
So I'm
Okay.
switching.
Yeah,
Oh
bro.
wow,
See
wow.
right now.
Typical,
wait,
typical Tom. Typical
So-
Tom.
No, I form my own opinions. Okay. Number
Yeah, I'll
three.
bullshit.
Number three. I got
Hit 'em
Secret
up.
Ponchos, which I know
Secret
nobody's
Ponchos?
heard of.
Wait,
but
wait. Say that again.
Secret Ponchos. Google it. It's on there.
Oh,
It's
God.
somewhere.
Okay, I'm doing
on
this
the Google?
right now.
It's on Google.
Is that
I'm not gonna
one-
get
is
like
that-
some like
is
two
that
girls
one
one
word?
cup thing, right?
No.
It sounds like dirty,
It
dirty
is.
porn.
One of those
Alex,
secret
Alex,
things.
if this is the internet, then Rule 34 applies.
Oh, hey, it's on Steam.
Alex is
Ooh.
buying it now.
Secret Poncho.
Oh, it's early access. F you, man.
Oh, it's
God.
not.
You got me all excited for a game, and it's like early access, bro.
What?
It's on Steam.
I think they got
Give
an
us-
exclusive.
I was just gonna say, give us the quick rundown of what Secret Ponchos is.
It's basically one of those old school like isometric twin stick shooters, but it's a competitive style as opposed to cooperative or turn based or anything like that.
Okay.
4v4 for the most part, but the main thing is the nuance in the gameplay. You have to manage your ammunition. You have to manage your dodge. Your dodge is tied directly into your stamina, and your ammo. There's no auto reload at all, so you have to be very precise. You have to be very observant throughout the whole course of play to know when to do it, when to not do it, and you just can't spam stuff. So it's a very it's a lot of chess match. It's a big chess match, I should say. So that's kind
That's
of
cool.
Yeah, it's the meat and potatoes of it basically.
I'm linking the media to the game so you can check it out for yourselves. I think it looks interesting now that I've looked it up.
Yeah, I
was
just added it to my wish list on Steam.
gonna- Oh, there you go. Good job, Tom. Wow.
Yeah. Wow, you're already selling the game.
He's
Creating the
hired.
hype train.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice journalistic ethics there, Tom.
Yeah,
Bro, dude, it's about ethics in podcasting.
Hashtag MPGate.
MP8. That sounds
How
weird.
dare you?
All right, I'm going. So yeah, my third pick is also Insurgency.
Oh,
It's been a really interesting game to follow this year, basically, because it launched really early, 2014, like officially launched, and it's just like they've done really well. New World Interactive has done really well for themselves, and they've totally supported the game with free content and like really good pieces of content with sweet gun updates, new maps, the new night maps as well.
Yep.
And what really sold me on that game actually wasn't the competitive multiplayer, but it was the checkpoint mode, because like I've been waiting forever and ever for a really good Rainbow Six style terrorist hunt game, because I mean I just love that mode in those older Rainbow Six games. And then Insurgency comes along, and it's a good friend of mine. He lives close by. Usually on weekends that like the girls are out, I head over there. I bring my laptop, and we're just like gaming for hours, usually on this checkpoint mode with just some other random dudes. And I mean, it gets so difficult that it's like they do such a good job of just encouraging you to really use your microphone, even if it's like with strangers. And it's
Yep.
it's cool. It's so refreshing being an Xbox guy and having to deal with all the shit on Xbox Live. To be able to play with like really mature players and use callouts that would like actually be called out in like a real military or combat situation is pretty cool. So
Yeah,
huge
no
kudos to New World Interactive.
No one's talking about how they fucked your mother last night, so I mean that's
Exactly.
some
It's
good
always a
stuff right
plus.
there. Yep.
I don't
absolutely.
need to know how much of a slut my mother is. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
All right, so we're gonna go backwards around the circle. We're gonna do our number 2 picks. So I guess that's me. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, that's you.
So Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is my number 2 pick. Oh, look at this! My Xbox is going to Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I didn't tell you to do that.
Okay. Tell us
Box off.
why Advanced Warfare is number 2.
So it's just really simply. Oh, I gotta turn this off, or else it's gonna look at this. TV's going crazy now. Playing Call of Duty.
Xbox, download all the porn.
That's not a command yet.
No, not yet. It's
It would be if it was on PC.
so it's very simply. It is one of the most solid Call of Duties yet. It has all the stuff that I loved about Black Ops 2. They brought that forward into this game. And then, just so happens to also be the most innovative Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4. Because they changed it up in not sort of a, what's the word, any cosmetic way, but like in the actual gameplay. They really did change it. I sort of have some disagreements with some of the gameplay changes, maybe.
Snipers.
No, I'm talking about like the exo movement and stuff. How everybody's
gotcha.
it's really easy to dodge. I mean, I think it kind of messes with the map flow, but besides that, I mean,
right.
they did it well. I love how natural it is. Like it's all under the left thumbstick, and it just feels so natural, and it just makes an already pretty hectic game even more hectic, which is kind of for better or for worse. But and graphically, it's one of the better looking Call of Duties out there. I heard it's done pretty good on PC as well. So they seem to be listening. And it's, I suppose why it's not my number 1 pick is for the reason I listed. I'm maybe not entirely sure with the direction of this sort of exo movement mobility stuff. That, and also I'm not sure it was enough to really
Yeah, that's what I was
make.
gonna say.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
Call
a
of
big
Duty
step.
Ghosts.
It was a really big step, but at the same time, it wasn't quite enough to get me as crazy about Call of Duty as I was back around like Modern Warfare 2.
In And on top of that, I just like to say I don't see how they can incorporate a sequel to Advanced Warfare using exosuits and kind of building on top of it. I mean, they've kind of already done.
It's interesting.
Everything.
That's actually something I wanted to actually talk about in another podcast. Was kind of where shooters are sort of headed these days with this new sort of this new trend of enhanced mobility. But we'll say that for another day.
Stay
But
tuned,
yeah,
folks.
It's
Yeah, don't go
definitely a
away.
really good point. So backwards, we're gonna go with Tom, number 2 pick.
I got Last of Us Remastered. I missed out on it last year, and
Yeah.
made the conversion from 360 to PS4 this go around. So I figured I'd pick it up, give it a shot,
Has
and
Absolutely.
definitely wasn't disappointed. Single player, obviously, everybody knows about how great it is, how great the voice acting is, but the multiplayer was rock solid as well. There's no regenerative health mechanic, which I love, and basically you can pick up materials to create health packs, but it doesn't apply immediately. Basically, you gotta find a lull in the combat in order to bandage yourself up and basically get back on the battlefield. But the 4v4, it's kind of a personal experience. It kind of reminds me of Rainbow Six and Counter-Strike to some extent in terms of using voice communication a bit more. Definitely, obviously PC games nowadays, everybody's using mics for the most part. You typically don't go into too many games where people aren't using microphones. Consoles, not so much, but this was probably the most I've used my headset on any console title this generation, so I definitely appreciated that as well.
Okay, so my question, Tom, is in the multiplayer, because I'm an Xbox guy and I haven't played The Last of Us yet. In the multiplayer, is it like team deathmatch, or is it like kind of like DayZ, where it's just survival?
It's more like kind of think like Gears of War, like execution style,
Yeah.
the execution game types,
yep,
where you can
okay,
revive your
okay.
teammates and stuff like that. It's more along those lines.
It has
Okay.
sort of a survive, what's the word? Like a survival element strewn over top of it, doesn't it? Like you have your like your group of survivors, and you collect materials to make things in every match.
Yeah, you collect materials in every match. The survival, I don't know if you call it a meta game, but basically there's
Yeah, or whatever.
every 5 matches or so, they have like a challenge where in order to protect your survivors, you have to complete a challenge over the course of the next 3 matches. So they'll let you pick the challenge. Like you have
That's
to
cool.
execute 3 headshots over the course of 3 matches. You have to kill 8 enemies with a shotgun, like just random stuff like that. Whichever one you feel most comfortable with. Okay, I can get this done in the next 3 matches. And I mean, there's a laundry list of them. It's not like choice A, choice B, choice C. I mean, there's probably at least, I want to say at least 20, if not more.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a lot more that you can do. And as long as you get it done, your survivors survive. And if you don't get it done, you lose a good chunk of them.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, with all these games coming out now, where it's like they're constantly increasing the player cap for each game mode or whatever. Like Battlefield 4 is like it's 64 player on like every platform except the last gen consoles and stuff. And I love Battlefield. Like Bad Company 2 is just a brilliant game, but Battlefield 4 and 3 both play really well when it's like 8v8 or 16
Yeah.
v16. Like.
Yeah.
Like Squad Rush in Battlefield 3 was incredible. Like it was you and three of your friends against 4 other people, and that was it. And there was no vehicle. I mean, there could be vehicles if you wanted, but like when you boil down these games like Call of Duty and Battlefield to like their bare essentials, like they really shine. And I'm really glad that games like The Last of Us, Insurgency, and other games are kind of starting to realize that player count isn't what makes games fun, because I feel like Battlefield 4 plays its worst when there's 64 players on a server, because like the server performance is terrible. Every gunfight is just you get shot instantly or from some dude just in the middle
Rooftop
of nowhere, and
campers.
then he dies like a split second later, and then a
Nade
tank
spam.
explodes, and it's just like it's like chaos. Like there's no order to it. And I know like it's like everyone wants increased entropy in their multiplayer experiences, but like at the same time, like it has to be manageable. And like Battlefield
Yeah.
is just a mess when it's 64 players, especially on like the new maps in Battlefield 4, like the vanilla maps. They're terrible. Like
Yeah.
there's no flow at all to them, and all the choke points and cover points are like you're exposed in every direction, and it's just like, can we just calm down and like have some like good old fashioned rush or like, you know? And it's like, and Naughty Dog's like, hey, guess what? We got that shit, bro.
Yeah, I think smaller player counts equals more competitive matches, which I do believe that more competitive gameplay does mean more fun gameplay. I kind of
just-
subscribe to that school of thought. So
Just
Yeah,
imagine how much
I
more
agree.
fun Advanced Warfare would be if you took out all the BS that's in like Call of Duty games and left in score-based matchmatchmaking. You'd be
Yeah.
playing against people that are competent and that don't have incredibly overpowered, randomly selected weapons.
yep. Jamie, I think was your second choice also The Last of Us?
Yeah, it was, and
Yeah,
the reason being,
got it.
I mean, I think no, I gave Journey Game of the Year the year before, but I mean, Last of Us was my second pick last year also.
Oh, okay. I
this
forgot.
year- This year it's the same deal, but I mean, I've already played the game and I'm already really familiar with it, and reason why it's my second choice is because I just love it that much. Frame rate bump. I mean, when you go from 30 to 60, there's a lot of people out there saying there's no difference and they would prefer the cinematic look.
Oh God,
God, what are they?
frames,
Ubisoft?
But
they're just lying to themselves. It's okay.
But there's actually an option in the remaster where you could swap between the two, and it's just way different. Like, it's just you really can't go back. Better animation, fluidity, everything, and
Yeah.
the textures. I mean, the game already looked good for a PS3 title. I'd say it
Oh,
looks
yeah.
near next gen. But the textures they're bumped up too. I mean, everything looks way better than it was. Less jaggies, shadows are better, and the multiplayer is just fun as hell. I mean, you got 4v4 Survivor and what's the other mode? Whatever that other mode is. But it's fun because it's not really a team deathmatch. I mean, it is, but you have lives to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you have stocks to go along with it. So it gets really intense. I mean, you can basically go from four respawns and the other team has still 20, and then just take them down all the way to 0
Yeah.
with just those 4 stocks if you use your resources right. Like Tom was saying, and it's comparable with games like Rainbow Six and other low player count games. So
Oh, that's
it's
rad.
fun.
We're on Alex now. Second pick.
I've actually picked Insurgency as my second pick, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Forgot.
I don't play it a lot, but you know, I play it like once a week for a few hours, and
Well,
because
that's
they
enough.
change. Yeah, they update the
that's a
game
lot.
like every month with like tons of
Yeah.
new content and like and fixing a lot of problems and like just improving the game in general, and like it's number 2 to me. Like I might not play it that much, but it is a really wonderful game, and it's from a very independent group of people making a like they're very small, and what they've managed to accomplish, like the level of competency that they've executed Insurgency with is astounding to me. Like CS:GO, like Valve could learn a lot from Insurgency's devs, like a lot about how to balance the game and respond to community feedback, because Insurgency is just
Absolutely.
it's just wonderful. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Like it's so rare where you get like a competitive game. I mean, there's problems and balance issues, of course, but there's nothing like that is just total bullshit. Like
Yeah.
every game has that. Like Counter-Strike, their servers are terrible. So like 64-tick servers, they suck to play Counter-Strike on, because one shot and you're dead in Counter-Strike. And Insurgency, like the servers are really nice. The player community is generally really good, like not just in skill, but like if someone's bad, they're still trying to communicate with you, and like it's
Yeah.
like there's something about the atmosphere in Insurgency that lends itself to, like, as soon as you start a match, like your first match, you know exactly what you have to do. You have to communicate, because half the time you can't see where you're getting shot from. shots are flying all over the place, and then other times it's super quiet. But like if you don't communicate, your whole team gets wiped out, man. And it's just like for a team as small as New World Interactive to pull off such an astoundingly good title as Insurgency is just it's incredible to me. And like
It's
I don't know.
MPX worthy.
Yes. MPX stamp of approval.
One of you guys can edit in some like really heavy echo on that.
I think what
Thanks.
gets me about Insurgency is that New World Interactive is just the way that they handle their community just in general is just so refreshing compared to other indie studios and especially to other AAA studios. Like I see like every week they're like pulling community members out to stream Insurgency with the developers and talk to them. And the thing is I think David told me this, but the developers have like other full-time jobs and they made Insurgency like on their downtime.
Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say they're a small dev team, man.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like it's bare bones.
Yeah,
and they're cool.
Do you guys think Insurgency could work on consoles?
Absolutely.
No, I don't think because of the free aim. I don't think that would ever work.
No,
on
I
consoles.
think what would need
They would have to take
happen-
that feature out.
Well, no, I think what would need to happen with Insurgency is they would need to incorporate all the
That's-
mechanics in a way that it would fit on a controller and it would be convenient to use. You know, because
It has controller support already.
I'm sure it'll work. I mean,
no, it
That's-
does. It does. It's just the thing is that when you have a keyboard, you have a bunch of different buttons that can do a bunch of different things. Okay, and a lot of the times you have you have commands on the keyboard that don't fit onto the controller. You know,
Oh yeah, totally.
so I
yeah,
mean,
but that's what they said about Diablo and Planet Side and
Not true.
CS:GO.
And end up being.
It
could-
going God so
It works.
We all
That's a
just
good
start
one.
laughing.
Where's your skins at, bro? Where's your
It
skins
works.
at,
It's
bro?
just not supported.
yeah, and that's
Let's-
what I'm saying. So I mean, if Insurgency was to go into console, it would have to have. I mean, New World would have to figure out a perfect balance between putting all the features that really make Insurgency that you can also use on the computer onto a gamepad, essentially. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd have to
Denny.
retool like the level of auto aim for controller because there's no auto aim on PC
Yep.
and like auto aim could totally ruin that game because one or two shots and you're dead. And so if people can just turn around and spray and their gun locks onto them, like it's just not gonna work. But like I think there's potential there for a really good
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
console title, but I don't think anyone would buy it because they'd be like, "Ew, it's hard."
Yeah.
It's not Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
and
Oh
it's
my
hard.
God.
Scrubs.
What
What
is
is
that?
this? What is challenge?
I actually have it in my Steam library, but I'm just so nervous about doing damage to my MacBook that I haven't even fired it up once.
Oh yeah.
I literally have one
that's
CPU
that's
fan,
where I
that's
play
it.
it, Tom. I play it on my MacBook, and if I go more than like 2 hours, it starts getting pretty hot, and I turn it off just because I get too scared,
Yeah.
that, like my desk is gonna melt or something. But all right, I want to get on to. So we still got Denny though. Denny.
Yes.
Wait, no, we're
yes.
doing.
No,
Did
we're
you tell us
on
your
me.
second pick?
No,
That's done.
we're done.
Oh,
Game over. Podcast done. Good night, everybody.
Control. Alt
you have
delete,
to do
please.
second pick though,
Pre-
right? Yes. You
Press
do.
F to pay respects.
Give us your second pick, Denny.
Um,
Oh, jeez.
you know, my second pick is gonna have to be Titanfall, just because it was a different game that I was really hyped up about. I played the alpha, I played the beta, and it was definitely a game where for the first time, and definitely like across any platform that I played, it was like the first time that I never felt cheated when I died, you know, from a kill.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was just
That Xbox Live
did-
Cloud, bro.
and,
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, and maybe it's that, but it's just one of those things where like I picked it up, and even during the alpha, like I expected the game to be like just trash. Okay, I expected the things to be broken, a lot of the mechanics broken, the map design broken, you know, glitches to happen all the time. But I started jumping onto it, and it was just like, this game is really, really good. Okay, I don't feel cheated. The mechanics in the alpha even are solid as hell, and then the beta got entered. I got into that. Same thing. A lot of people said that it was really good as well, and then when I reviewed it, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 because I mean I'm absolutely cementing that opinion that it was an amazing game. It's just through everything, it's just kind of gotten to that point where it's and the reason why it's not my game of the year or my MPX is because it's got something, and I cannot pinpoint it. It's got this blandness to it where it feels like an arcade game. And the reason I say this is because if you ever go into an arcade or you go to, you know, like a cantina or some place that has arcade games, you know, those arcade games work and you play them to have fun. But then, you know, when you get off of them, you're not really motivated to, you know, come back. You're not really addicted to it. It's kind of just like a time waster, essentially. Yeah. So, I mean, Titanfall eventually just kind of became that. It became like a time waster. So like I'd play it if, you know, a Battlefield 4, you know, expansion was downloading or something like that. It didn't become addicting as I thought it would be. And a lot of people were right in saying that, you know, it would die down throughout the months. But the thing is that Respawn has been really great in introducing new content and new game modes. And that was one of my...
That.
Yeah, and that was one of
modes are great.
That was one of my big pet peeves about, you know, Titanfall in the beginning, was that everything was basically just vanilla, you know, first-person shooter playlist kind of thing. You had Team Deathmatch, you had small version of Conquest or Domination, and then they just started rolling out stuff like the Floor is Lava type game mode, where the entire map is filled with electric lightning, and if you ran down it, you'd die. So the entire thing just made verticality and rooftops like essential. So a lot of the game modes add, you know, new gameplay experiences and
Meaningful.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it is definitely like close second pick, definitely.
Right. Well, and actually, you're up then first pick as well, Denny.
I thought we were going the... Oh. Okay.
No, we were kind of like zigzagging back and forth, so...
Gotcha.
I want to save mine for last because I know it's controversial, so... Don't talk about it.
Better not be Ghosts.
We already know
It's Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4. Not even
so my first
games.
pick would definitely have to be Grand Theft Auto, just because it added a new perspective into the entire mix. You know, with the first person point of view, it did something that I didn't think it would do, and that something was add an entire new experience to the game. And I mean, when you think about it, before it was even implemented, it was just kind of like, whatever, first person, doesn't really, you know, do anything. It's just another camera view. But then when you start playing in it, it's just so refreshing and so different that I do honestly believe that it warrants an entire repurchase of the game, because I never wanted to touch the story again in Grand Theft Auto on the 360, but when I rebought it, you know, I wasn't expecting to go through it again. I just kind of expected to start off and then just, you know, run around and fuck shit up. But but playing through the campaign or the story in first person is just, I mean, it's a new experience. Like I can't describe how amazing it is to, you know, actually, you know, feel like you're walking around in Los Santos. And the thing is like Jimmy said before, Grand Theft Auto Online in first person is insane. That's what it is. It's crazy because you have like a bunch of players online. Okay, it's 32 players. All right, everything is crowded. You have people with freaking fighter jets ramming into you while you're just trying to drive to your buddy's house to, pick him up to do some mission. Or you have, people having the entire SWAT team of GTA coming onto them. And it's just so refreshing because it's like Far Cry 3, okay, but in a very urban area.
Yeah.
Okay, and Far Cry 3 was awesome. It was,
I think one of the things about like Rockstar that they do every time they release a game is they're like, oh, you thought those games were good and did these things well? Well, this is what happens when people with actual talent do that. Like, like Skyrim, Skyrim's like, we think it's like really immersive and has a lot of depth. But when you really like start scratching the surface of Skyrim, you realize like your actions have like no consequences on what the NPCs say or do in the world over time. Like there's really you don't really have a lasting impact as a player on the world of Skyrim. Like you change some things, but the NPCs remain kind of like largely detached from your actions. And like in Grand Theft Auto, like, there's so many videos of people just like standing around and then a cop will say something to them and their character will like, just say something like a line of dialogue back, and then all of a sudden you're like arrested or killed. And it's like little touches like that, like they enhance the level of like immersion and interactivity on a whole new way.
And the thing is that you would expect that it would just be kind of like a broad thing too with the immersion, but they literally have nitpicked like almost every situation that a player would think of. So like if you play as Trevor and you go and shoot rockets at Michael's house, he'll call you up and tell you to stop firing rockets at his house. Okay, and it's just crazy how like nitpicking they are about the immersion. Like just every single type of experience can happen, and if you catch it, then it's just like, wow, that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think like games like Assassin's Creed and stuff really lack is like, yeah, you're in this world and it's really beautiful to look at and it's amazing and whatever, but like the NPCs like in most games are just kind of like wallpaper. Like, how many NPCs have you pushed out of the way in an Assassin's Creed game and been like, I've seen that one 1,000 times before. Oh, I've heard that line of dialogue 1,000 times before. And I'm sure the same thing happens to a certain extent in Grand Theft Auto, but at the same time, it's like games like The Last of Us kind of prove that every single character having a unique appearance matters to players. Like every single character in Last of Us has a unique texture, like every single thing. So like, I don't know, like Grand Theft Auto, it's like taking Skyrim and making it Grand Theft Auto, and that's just I can't wait to play it on PC.
Alex, you get to do your first pick though.
Oh yeah.
Nice,
cool story, bro.
Your turn, bro. All right. Oh, okay. Now off to Jimmy then.
No,
it's my silly dad joke.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, "What are you even saying, Jedi?" Alex, whatever they call me now, I don't know. But Elite Dangerous is my.
Wait. Say that again.
Elite Dangerous is my pick of the year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did not really know much about this game, but like, I looked into it a bit after you mentioned it, and it kind of looks like I'm getting some really big Star Citizen vibes from it. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, the principal comparison is to Star Citizen, and the thing that differentiates the two is Elite Dangerous is more about the economy of the universe than it is about your impact on it. I would say I think like both games have a long way to go before their content is fully developed. Like Elite Dangerous is in public release, like it's done basically. Like the base game is done, but Frontier, the company behind it, they've promised for the next year or so substantial additions to the gameplay. So like planet side landing is going to happen, FPS is going to happen, EVAs, so like leaving your ship and doing things outside of your ship is going to happen. Like a lot more diversity in the way you play the game is going to come down the line. And Star Citizen, they're kind of taking a similar approach, where they're like releasing, the independent aspects of the game over time as like, early access, testing, getting feedback, and then releasing it as like part of the beta process or whatever. But the difference is like Elite Dangerous, they nailed their gameplay down. Like the ship flying, combat, all that stuff, they 100%ed that in terms of like development. Like they were like,
That's
this
sweet.
is the core mechanics are there. They're solid. They don't really have to change. They need balancing, but whatever. Whereas Star Citizen's like, here's all of these things we're working on at once, and we're going to give you limited access to each individual piece and see what you guys, want more of and like and don't like, and then develop further. And I feel like, there's going to be a lot of comparisons to 2015 between the two games, but I think Elite Dangerous really kind of set the tone for like the standard of quality. Like, Star Citizen's going to look better. It's going to be more immersive. It's going to have more detail, all that stuff. But it's also not out yet. It's not finished yet.
Skrillex.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Quick, another little pause. I'm always having these mic issues, as you guys know, but we fixed that, and we were talking about Alex's pick for number 1 for his MPX 2014, and Elite Dangerous.
Yeah. So I'll sum it up.
Sum it up for us.
I think a lot of people are really excited about space games. Like, they're like, dude, man, I want to fly a spaceship, dude. And Elite Dangerous, Frontier Developments, and the company behind it, they were smart enough to realize people wanted to play this game now. And they released a really solid but shallow product in Elite Dangerous. And over the next year or so, they're going to add a ton of content to it that's really going to flesh it out and add a lot more depth and replayability to it that I think is going to give it a very strong competitive edge over Star Citizen. But I think Star Citizen is going to be the blockbuster space exploration game that people are like craving. But I think Elite Dangerous really knocked it out of the park, because it's just a fantastic game, and it's got a really bright future, and I think it's going to really shape how Star Citizen develops as a game as well.
Okay, so my question is this expansion packs and stuff like that, is all this content coming to people who already bought the game, or do they have to buy it separately?
I'm pretty sure that most of it's going to be free. A lot of the DLC, because it's integral to the game. Like, you can't have a bunch of players that can't land on planets. And so if they add that as like paid DLC and only half the people buy it, then it totally screws up the whole experience. So like, I think the core stuff like that is going to be just a patch to the game. But like, there might be ships that are, you can buy with real world money, or skins, something like that. Like right now you can buy like paint jobs for your ships. But it stands to reason that like any sort of functionality update they do is going to be completely free if you already own the game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so take that, Titanfall developers, charge it for private lab, whatever. They were like, well, game modes are technically DLC, so we're gonna charge, even though they didn't, because that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Run,
Let's go
Jimmy.
to Jimmy. Yeah. Let's go to Jimmy. Number 1 pick, MPX 2014. Go.
I'm gonna go with Drive Club. It's that racer that launched exclusively on the PS4 earlier, or last September or November, that had a horrible launch.
Yeah.
Probably one of the worst launches in gaming. But once they started rolling out the first few patches, it really was stable. I mean, the online connectivity it's on spot. It's really smooth. I really like how the game controls. Excuse me. Normally, I don't have a racer as one of my favorites. It's usually either a shooter or an open world game. But there's something special about Drive Club when you drive, when you're handling the vehicles and listening to the sounds and racing online with, I think, 16 other players or 8 other players. I don't remember. But there's something special about that. It's just sheer fun. arcadey sim style,
Let's see.
almost Forza like.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 2 was my third pick before I switched over to Insurgency. So I guess I would give that game my
Notable mentions.
notable mention. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This year was pretty good for racers,
Oh yeah, definitely.
or
Yeah,
last
man,
year I
the-
should say.
What'd
What'd you say?
Nah, I mean, it's gonna say like games like The Crew and stuff.
Well,
Like,
maybe not. I don't know.
I think they really
didn't
proved the
play
point that racing games should be about the racing and not the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Because if have you guys, dude?
Oh god.
Oh my God,
for
Troy
speed.
Baker! I am so sorry. I feel so bad for that man. The dialogue in
He's in the crew.
The Crew is just ungodly bad.
I didn't know he's in the crew.
Yeah, he plays like the main character's voice.
Oh wow.
He
Oh my
he's
God,
in it. He's the main character, and he sounds like he's trying to kill himself by talking. Like it's like, wait, he's got that like, wait a sec.
Yeah.
Y'all want me to read this? I don't know if you know this, but I'm Joel. Okay, I'm the guy in a Naughty Dog game that made people cry.
I'm Batman.
I'm
Joker.
Batman. I'm the Joker. I'm everything. And this is the dialogue you're giving me?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I don't. I mean, like really quickly. I don't understand open world racing games like that, and I understand Forza Horizon 2, but I don't understand the Crew because no
It's
one wants.
fun.
No, it's
It's
not.
I
It's
mean,
garbage.
It's just stupid. It's a stupid game. Like that's its problem. Like it could be really great. It's just really stupid. There's not enough races.
The open
story
world
is
concept
like,
sounded cool,
ugh.
but no, I'm more partial to racers like Drive Club and like Horizons or Forza, I should say. So,
Gran Turismo.
yeah, Gran
suck.
Turismo too.
Yeah, Gran Turismo sucked last gen.
Gran Turismo was only good when it came out on the PlayStation, and I mean the original one.
But it's good on PS2.
Yeah.
Mm,
When
Ace
it
Spec
came
was
to-
pretty good, man.
When it
I
came to
don't know.
PS3, it was just.
How you gonna race with a controller though? That's what I'm asking.
Just use the Thrustmaster.
I used the Thrustmaster, alright, baby.
Or whatever it's called.
Get that Stairmaster working, you know what I'm saying?
Let's go to Tom. Yeah, I want to hear Tom's #1 pick.
Oh,
He's still
more
with us.
obscure titles. more
Oh
obscure
God!
titles.
This
all right,
mother-
hold on. Let me pull up Google. All right,
Just
Yeah.
go ahead, Tom.
This one is. Oh, drawing a blank here.
What?
Towerfall Ascension.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Tower Fall. There we go.
Let's.
Yes. It is not a Nintendo game. It is just 8-bit game released on next-gen consoles, which seems to be the popular thing to do these days. But
Holy God! the
Oh yeah,
visual
no, I've
stuff.
seen this game. This game is awesome.
it's couch co-op only. Well, couch. There's a verse mode too, but the main reason this one got my #1 was just the amount of fun I had with it. It incentivized you to finish the game. It almost like taunted you the way that it had the count, like how many times you failed each level. It was almost like it just incentivized you to just keep trying to get past the next one. I actually played through the whole thing with my brother, who, he typically doesn't game anymore. He's kind of past that, but we just shot the shit one afternoon and went through the whole thing. And I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with it. The 8-bit retro, it's not so much the look, but there's just more modern physics in the game that are blended with the 8-bit look. The arrows, the trajectory of them, the way they basically you get a limited number of arrows. Everything's one hit kill. You're basically trying to eliminate all these types of enemies on a stage that doesn't move or anything. It's almost like I can't remember it was like an old Mario Brothers versus title. I can't remember the name of it, but it was where the stage didn't scroll. If you went to the right side of the screen, you appeared on the left side of the screen. Those type of rules and principles apply.
Yeah, it's like Pac-Man.
Yeah, like Pac-Man too. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with the physics. The power-ups in it are really good, and very very challenging last boss. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it.
That's cool, man. I like these quirky picks.
All right. Okay. So we've gone through everyone and their top picks and their second picks and their third picks, and now it is down to David with arguably the most controversial.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
I need a season pass to listen to his pick or anything? I'm only like
Should
a
I
part
be
of
sitting
it.
down for this, or like what is?
Did-
no,
does-
listen,
does
listen.
the- does
let
the
me,
season pass
let me,
cover
yo,
only one
yo,
expansion
give
or
me the
all of
mic.
them?
Give me the mic.
All right, here's
Right.
the mic.
Pass me.
Don't drop it now.
Okay.
Well,
Here.
it's,
I'm gonna.
it's already in the podcast. We just have to find it.
Well,
Shit joke.
Shut the fuck
I
up,
didn't
Jimmy.
get. I didn't get it.
Listen, Sanic.
Oh man. No,
Enough
so
out of you.
here's the deal. So let's talk about Destiny. It's a little game you
Oh,
might have heard. No, here's the thing though. So I don't want to actually. Well, I actually don't want to talk about Destiny. I don't want to talk about the game. I want to just talk about why it's my number one pick. Okay, because I have really solid reasons why it's number one. The game itself is, like I said, controversial. Tons of people hate it. Tons of people love it. You know, we could talk about this all day, and we have done a podcast on it, so I don't even really want to get into the specifics about the game itself. Just why it's my number one choice. Aside from it being the game I have played the most out of all the fall launches, or I guess it was late summer. Yeah, September. So, yeah, so number one, it is the game that I have played the most. Number two, it's no game has grown my Xbox Live friends list as quickly as this game has. And I just think that alone is something special that no Xbox game, or even really any console game, oh yeah, it's on PlayStation 4, so of course I should say console game, has really ever done. Because it's just like, you know, you play Call of Duty, you play Battlefield, whatever. You don't go there and you don't make friends. You just shoot the shit, as Tom says. You just go shoot people and stuff. Destiny is the only game that I've like randomly encountered people and have like done something with them, maybe just a mission, a strike, or somebody, you know, sees that I'm level 32, they want me to help out in the raid, so I go help them out. I meet a couple really cool guys. I made an entire raid team of people I have never met before. They all happen to be Canadian, because Destiny does actually a really damn good job of matchmaking you with people in your region. And so I met these guys who were like, one of them, like I mentioned in the Destiny podcast, one of them like just lives, or two of them, sorry, they live on the same freaking block from each other. Like, and they just happen to be like one sort of city over from where I live. So I don't know, that's just something special that like no sort of multiplayer focused game has really ever done, or that I've seen before. And I guess number three is that I sort of appreciate that Bungie's they've successfully made, how should I put this, an MMO style game that's not an MMO on consoles. It's a very manageable MMO game to play. It's not something you have to like play hours and hours and hours of. It's something you can do casually. You can just kind of like hop on after work and get online with a couple buddies, take part in some your daily PvE missions, and of course there's the Crucible, which is we could talk about in a whole another podcast. But I really like that you can just kind of get online, and there's always something to do every day, you know. And then of course every week there's the all the resets, and you can do some of the tougher challenges. So I just kind of like that it gives you something to do every day. So I don't have to play it like, you know, 3 hours every day. It's not. I just kind of hop on, do a couple bounties, the daily mission, whatever, have fun, and that's it. It's just done some really special things that I think no game has done before. It needs a lot of work. There is tons and tons of things it could have done better, and I think will do better eventually in Destiny 2. But so yeah, that's really it.
like it feels a void in console gaming.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a big void. Like cooperative gameplay is not something that, especially the next generation consoles or the whatever you want to call them now, you know, it's something they don't like succeed very well at. Like there aren't
Yeah.
many games where like, you know, like you have The Last of Us, which is kind of cooperative, but it's really still, you know, killing people and not getting killed. Like Destiny's like completing an objective together. And I think that's one of the things, like, all these people making console games that, like, you know, they're all running at, like, you know, 980p at 30 FPS. I made an article about this a while ago. Like, they're missing the point of consoles. Like, you have to make a game
I like that point
that's
you had.
tailored to the hardware, and that like suits the hardware and the nature of the hardware. And I think Destiny is like, you know, like how you have Diablo 3 on console, and it's a fantastic console game. And I think Diablo 3 and Destiny have a lot in common in that they fill this void of games that aren't really on console right now. And like, I agree with you that like it's the kind of game that there needs to be more of on consoles. And it's unfortunate that Destiny's the first one and it has all these problems with, like, it fills such a void, man, because there's no games that are cooperative on console.
Especially
and it's like
ones that aren't like always online. And you know that a lot of people do look down on it being only online, but whatever.
It's just.
I mean, we live in an online world. Like, if you don't have
Yeah,
internet,
I
where do you
subscribe
live?
to that theory as well. I'm kind of like,
I
it's just the
I
world
don't-
we live in now. So
I wish I could play every game offline, but like some games like Elite Dangerous is online only because
if
the
I may
universe is-
also actually add, just to quickly touch on gameplay. I do think it's actually some of the best feeling. Of course, it could be 60 FPS. That would be lovely. But just in terms of the way the guns feel and look, I think Destiny really nailed that. I think they do it better in that game than Call of Duty and even Battlefield. The way, sort of your field of vision, the way the gun looks, the way it handles, the way it aims down sight. I like that. They did a good job in that. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's
That
a
wasn't so
Borderlands
controversial. Well, like I said, the game itself is, but I think I got some solid reasons why it's my number one pick. So
I mean, it's controversial because it disappointed people, not because it's bad.
actually, yeah, no.
I
He's got a
disagree.
point. No, he's got a point. Listen, another sort of side effect of this game that I visit the forums, the Bungie forums, the subreddit every day, daily, 3 times a day. I'm there. Because the people who do stick around and play this game are a good community, and the reason why they stick around is not because the game sucks. They all know that there are so many things it has to fix, but it's because they all love the game. There are things there that they love. They're passionate about the game, and they want it to succeed. A lot of people want the game to succeed and be better, and they're giving that feedback to Bungie. Bungie, made some bad decisions. They know that. At least we hope we do. We hope they do. But no, that's absolutely the case. People, they're upset. They're upset because they wanted it to be a good game, and there are people who still want it to be a good game, but it's just, to them, it's not that it's a bad game. I don't think
there's
that's a
something-
fair thing to say.
It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with it. It's just, it's like half the
There's
story
stuff
is
wrong
like
with it,
on a
yeah.
wiki.
But it's like, yeah.
They didn't. I don't know the way they advertised it beforehand.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say is that it's not. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that people are not mad because it's a bad game. They're mad because it's not as good as it could be. What I'm saying is that the way that they advertised it before, and you can even see it in the E3 trailers. It
was a different
looked
game.
it looked like Destiny brought an entire new story and new universe to saturate that
Yeah.
story, that a lot of people started to get really excited about it, and it really tried to capitalize on here's what's happening, and here's how you can affect all these different things, and you can play with your friends, and it's this type of console MMO that works out really well. And then game day happens, and people are
Finish
are
the game
at-
in 10 minutes.
well, yeah, and people are asking if what's his face was phoning in his lines and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
and then they kind of discovered that there really isn't a story. It's basically it's basically just focused on going through the same exact cycle of missions every single time, but then there's a different enemy. the end, literally the end game mission is literally just facing off 3 bosses that that are basically bullet sponges until you kill them, and then that's game over. And then they've added
It's
expansions
game over for
now.
the story.
Yeah,
But
I think
that's
but they've
sorry.
I know what
No, go ahead.
the critical issue with Destiny is that Bungie tried to make an MMO, and the thing with MMOs is that, like, WoW is a great example. You know, Blizzard's marketing of WoW is completely disingenuous in every regard. Like, you are never going to have an experience like the animatics they do for
Yeah.
the marketing for that game. But like, the thing is, every single frame of their trailers is like steeped in like this, like the mythology of WoW and like the lore and the characters. And like when you go to
Yeah,
play
that's-
WoW, a lot of the lore and the like context of the world that it inhabits is delivered via text. Like, you know, you pick up like, you know, and some like random item, and it gives you like this whole description of like a war that happened or something in that area. And like, the problem with Destiny is that they sold it as a game where you're going to experience the story, and like the story is going to envelop you. But the problem is that like you're playing it, and it's like, hey, go check out this website where you can like learn all about the lore. And if you read all of that lore, all of a sudden the game has a ton of depth. But
It
like
does, yeah,
when you're
but
when you're
it's-
actually playing it, you're not experiencing that depth, and that is like, to me, that smacks of Destiny didn't have enough time in the oven, and Activision was like, listen,
Absolutely. Yeah.
all right, dude, listen up, mother. You okay? We got these consoles, and if we don't have an effing game on them in like 5 minutes, y'all is fired. And Bungie was like, all right, well, we're kind of done. We just have to finish the story and, you know, actually call Peter Dinklage in to not, you know, use his draft recordings or whatever. And they're like, nah, it's okay, just put it out. We'll do DLC that they pay for, and it fixes everything. But like,
Yeah, that's essential.
I think it's the growing pains of trying to develop a new genre that
Yeah,
doesn't really
yeah.
suit the consoles, but making it suit the consoles. And I think Destiny really succeeds in bringing the MMO experience to the console level, but at the same time, that lack of depth is going to prevent them from really being the game that they.
I think
You know,
I think
want-
what
Yeah.
Destiny did the best was definitely the social features, and I mean, and that's definitely why David picked his. That's why it's definitely his first pick, is because he's definitely playing with people who are at least around him in his own
You-
region, and
You
I mean,
absolutely won't enjoy the game if you play it by yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
you can do the story by yourself, but it's just like then the other 80% of the game has to be. You need
Yeah,
raid parties, and that can be
it's-
really hard to get together. So.
And that's the thing. It's just like Insurgency, where communication in the community is key to enjoying the game and succeeding. It's not like Battlefield, where you can just pop in the disc or launch it on the PC and then just go in and then solo the entire thing as a sniper, trying to pick off people with a UCAP from your spawn. Okay. Yeah, your team might succeed, but it isn't as engrossing as games like Destiny and Insurgency. So I think if they just improved on the story, and gave it depth in the game instead of on a website like Alex said, then I mean Destiny would definitely be a huge success in just every part that it executes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's easily my. What was my disappointment was that I was expecting like a Mass Effect sort of level of lore and story, and like voice acting and characters, but so.
Yeah, but let's be honest. It's the people that made Halo. Like, I don't know if you noticed
Yeah.
this, but Halo
The
is just
game-
like some dude shows
Yeah.
up and saves the world every game. Like, it's not deep.
No, good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But the thing about Halo though is that it wasn't. It's not meant to be deep. Like it's not
Exactly.
supposed to. And the thing is that most of the context for Halo comes from the books and all the comics and stuff that are canon to the entire universe. And that's and yeah, maybe it's like Destiny where if you want to get the context about stuff, you have to go to a third party source for it. But at the same time, Halo is not in MMO, where the point of MMOs is supposed to, immerse
It
you
had a
in everything.
consumable and
5 minutes remaining.
what's the word I'm looking for? Consumable and tangible story that was
Yep.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's move on because we got a couple minutes left, and like I said, we could talk about Destiny like forever, but
Zone B.
I do want to quickly talk about just our what we're looking forward to in 2015. So yeah, you guys, do y'all got your games? Do you need a moment to think about it?
I got to come up with some games for you, boy.
I just
Yeah.
I don't have anything, to be
No,
honest.
I wanted to ask you guys about just what you're looking forward to in 2015
Zone B. Secure.
game releases.
I got Bloodborne.
not
my
in general.
backup.
You got Bloodborne?
Yeah, I got Bloodborne. It's kind of like what happened with The Last of Us for me. I'm kind of ready to dip my foot in the shallow end of the water and try out the gameplay for
That style
Dark
and that
Souls.
series.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
type of game.
Bloodborne's gonna be dope, man.
Talk about how challenging it is and everything. So that's kind of I haven't played it's going to be a bit slower. From what I've seen from gameplay, it's going to be a little more slower and methodical than say a game like Ninja Gaiden. But that game was extremely difficult and challenging, so I'm definitely looking forward to playing that style of game, even if it's slower paced. Just something
Yeah, man,
that's
it's-
hard to play.
It's the same devs as Dark Souls, so it's gonna be good.
Right.
Yeah. You got anything, Alex?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Same
The
dev.
Division is like the Division is the one game that I'm like really worried about and really want to
Yeah.
succeed. Cause like
Yeah.
it could be really good or it could be really bad. And, I mean, there's like Rainbow Six Siege, and that looks pretty good, but I don't know. Like the Division seems like it's kind of like Destiny in that it's kind of bridging a new gap
Heavy
in
ammo
Yeah.
available.
genres of games between like MMOs and shooters and stuff, and I'm excited for it. But also, The Witcher 3 comes out in March, and
Oh,
I'm gonna be
God.
playing that a lot. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Division's gonna have to fight for my attention with The Witcher, and I know this is MP first and all, but let me tell you something about The Witcher. It's the mother effing Witcher, bruh. So yeah, I don't know. I think The Division, if it's
No, that
good,
game
it's
looks
going to be
pretty
really good.
ridiculous.
But yeah, and there's also Oblitus, which is coming out this month, and that's it's like a 2D platformer in the vein of Dark Souls on Steam, and it looks like it's gonna be really good, but it's not multiplayer either. But I think The Division and Rainbow Six Siege are the two games that I'm like, I want to get back into shooters, and these are the
Right.
games that might make it happen. So I don't know.
Yeah, now with Ubisoft behind the bar. I mean,
Yeah, let me
it's-
tell. They're
It's,
pouring the
you know,
wrong drinks, if you know what I'm saying.
This is the first who's making The Division? I already forgot their name.
It's
The Swedish
Massive.
devs. Massive,
it's
yeah.
massive.
Yep.
This is their first release under Ubisoft, so hopefully they got a clean slate here.
Yeah, like everything that Ubisoft does might be tainted by like their failures, but they also have games like Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which won like
Oh,
DLC of the year when it came
damn,
out.
Yeah,
And
like
yeah.
I actually downloaded and started playing, and I'm loving it. And the thing about Ubisoft is that conceptually their games are, they're unique and they're pretty awesome. Okay, but executing those concepts, successfully has turned from, awesome games like Far Cry and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon to Assassin's Creed Unity and Watch
Yeah.
Dogs, and that's one of the things why I'm not looking forward to 2015
minute
at all in terms of games, because so far every developer and publisher has shown me that they aren't really capable of delivering a solid game with solid mechanics and solid content, and it's just
Heavy
it seems to be a
available.
cycle where they keep going, oh well, if you pre-order it now, you'll get
Yeah.
5 different DLCs and a in a monster model that costs $15, the equivalent of 4
30
Battlefield
seconds
maps.
remaining.
And it's just kind of been like, okay, I'll wait and see what happens when the game actually comes out. So that's why 2015 is more of my no pre-orders, no hype kind of thing.
Yeah, man, they're like selling pre-orders so hard that they make people wary of actually buying games now.
Yeah.
And like that's the like
They
stop
finally stepped
marketing.
over the line.
Yeah, like it's like stop marketing buying the
victory
game
doesn't
before it
win a war,
exists and
but it's a
start
start.
selling me the actual game.
Good work.
Like that's what people want. They want games. They don't want pre-order bonuses. Like pre-order bonuses suck because if you don't pre-order it, you have to wait 6 months before they realize how stupid it is to have exclusive content in a game that is
Yeah.
exclusive to when you bought it. And it's like, just give me the game, man.
Yeah, and
Only
the thing
one
is
after
that
victory,
what was it? The Witcher. The Witcher
Capture the
3's
zone.
pre-order has
Destroy
no
your
DLC,
enemies.
no extra content or some, or
What?
as far as I know.
Never mind that.
okay?
Their DLC is free.
Yeah, and that's the
That's
thing.
insane.
Their DLC is free completely to everyone. The only thing that you get from the pre-orders
You do get
is
some
like,
stuff,
yeah, it's actual physical stuff though, and that's kind of what I want to see from pre-orders though. Is if you want to get the merch and stuff like that, that's like actually limited edition, then yeah, go ahead and pre-order. But like most games nowadays, they're just like, well, if you want your digital copy and you want, some DLC that we've already got planned out, you can pre-order, but we're not going to give you any, actual limited edition stuff to make that pre-order, useful.
It's like limited edition stuff. You can pirate that, so we're not gonna make it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Jimmy,
Kinda,
do
it
you
kind
got
of
something?
angers me that Bloodborne Limited Edition is $20 extra, where it used to be free
Oh,
if you
yeah,
just
yeah.
pre-order with the steel case. But my anticipated titles are Bloodborne, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh
I always
god,
forget
yeah.
about
it's
Metal
not
Gear
on
Solid
there.
5. Yeah, that's the yeah.
So good.
Then for single player, Witcher 3, because like Boss said, it's
Yeah.
Witcher,
Ugh.
and Batman. Arkham
Oh yeah,
Knight.
Batman looks hot.
Yeah, it does.
Looks hot.
Ah, fucking Batman. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I think this year is going to be a very, very good year for both single and multiplayer games.
This year is
As long as
there's
no one F's it up.
absolutely whether it's going to be good or bad can be argued, but I think there's a lot of stuff. Like there are a ton of shooters.
There's
If
so
I try
many
to,
games.
you got Hardline, you got Evolve, you got the Division, the Rainbow Six. You're gonna have your Halo 5. You're gonna have your new Call of Duty. You're gonna have Battlefield. That's 7 that I've just listed, but
I really hope that this year is the year that developers and publishers capitalize on single-player narratives and stuff like that. Because last year was more, here's a bunch of multiplayer stuff. We kind of, done some single-player. And Titanfall was like.
So what you're
okay,
saying is you don't want to have anything to do with NB First anymore.
No, what I'm
Boot it.
saying
No, just
is
kidding,
that
man.
like,
I know.
2015 should be the year where like all of that single player stuff comes into action and then multiplayer, kind of like how it was in the old days. Because last year was just like multiplayer, we don't really know what we're doing, but we think it'll work, and if it doesn't, then well, we'll sell you some DLC or give it to you for free to make up for it. Quote fingers.
Yeah,
Alright, I
there's
wanna-
nothing
I
wrong
wanna
with
quickly
DLC.
drop-
It's just when it's a stopgap for, preventing your game from being a critical failure because it lacks something. That's when you have a problem. And like 2014 was like the year of the season pass, man. And there are some games that really stood out, that we picked. But it's like, if the same thing happens in 2015,
It's gonna.
you're gonna have a problem.
Somebody's gonna get a hood real bad.
Somebody's gonna get
To
fired.
quote
Is what's
Russell
gonna happen.
Peters.
Like
But,
Ubisoft's gonna be like, you know what, dude, that runs this place, you're fired.
Use
Well, I'm gonna
Gilmon.
quickly drop mine, guys. I'm gonna quickly drop mine 'cause we're running late.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
looking
go.
forward to Halo 5.
Right.
And the reason for that is actually something we hit on earlier in the podcast, which I think one thing I've learned about this year is exactly what Alex said, is sort of the importance of smaller player counts in games. Because, it's just like, sometimes there are a lot of times that Call of Duty and Battlefield don't cut it anymore, or they don't give me the same sort of intensity as games like even just alone the Halo 5 beta did, just being 4-on-4. And of course I've been playing a lot of Destiny, I've been playing a lot of Crucible. Crucible is all 6v6. And my favorite mode in that game is actually the 3v3 skirmish mode. And I'm just finding, I've noticed, I guess what I've learned about myself this year is that I really do like smaller player count games. So that's why I'm really looking forward to Halo 5. Obviously, there's probably going to be big team battles, but just sort of there's competitive arena focus on 4v4 is really exciting. Like when Quindel Hoyle came out and just he had that like one tweet about the game. He's like, Halo 5 equal starts 4v4 arena battles. I was like, I cry. You know, it's
Sign
just
me up,
like,
baby.
This guy gets
I was like,
Yeah.
dude, you just like hit all the buttons there, like, oh. But
Yo, man, you just powered up my controller. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and I guess another excitement, like I'm really excited to see what Visceral's gonna do with Battlefield Hardline, and part of that is that 2 of their modes are 5v5, if I'm not mistaken. No, one is 4v4 with a 6th. I can't remember. It's either 5v5 or 6v6, but either way, they're gonna be offering some competitive stuff in Hardline that I'm looking forward to as well. So
I'm just really excited for that Pope Noir first player story single player campaign, man. I want to be a cop on the streets, man. Yeah.
I have a friend. I have a friend who's he's an officer, and I've been showing him stuff about this game, and he's so pumped about it now, just because he's like, yeah, I get to like do all this stuff I want to do on the job, but I can't, so I'm gonna just do it in this game.
Oh, yeah,
but,
he's gonna start playing the game and he's gonna be like, well, this is bullshit. This never happens.
Yeah, it's like,
Well,
why,
yeah, I
why
know.
would I shoot someone with a grappling hook when I
He'll be on Fox
just go
News
home
next
and be
month
like,
shooting
"Listen,
somebody.
it's just too heavy." It's like,
Real
oh, yeah,
life
Yeah.
they're
Batman.
blowing up armored cars. Yeah, we're calling the SWAT team for that shit, okay? I'm an
You're-
officer
no,
of
like-
the law, not a defender of the known world.
Cop
Excuse
suits.
me.
Cops.
No, he's
shoots
gonna be like,
innocent
what?
man with
Canadian
grappling
police
hook.
armed forces aren't that heavily armored. We can go in our boxers and our little toots. We got our
And it's like,
single shot.
it's like, oh, there are terrorists robbing a bank with RPGs. Yeah, we're gonna call the National Guard.
yeah.
So, I'm gonna go eat some donuts, okay? I'm gonna go tase some innocent bystanders. I could do that. I could do crowd
Oh,
control. Really,
Jesus.
dude.
Yeah.
You give me a can of pepper spray, that crowd ain't going nowhere except the wall
Minutes
suits
remaining.
because they're gonna sue the shit out of me.
Oh man. All right, guys. I want to thank you for your time and for your picks. As I said, there's gonna be a written article up on all of our picks as well, with a couple more staff members also chiming in, and then we're gonna use that to calculate sort of a tier list of like our top picks, like our just MP first general MPX 2014 picks, and then of course Reader's Choice is gonna go up as well, either before this podcast or slightly after. I haven't figured it out yet, but thank you guys again, and yeah, we're looking forward to talk to you guys, our audience, about your picks and what you're looking forward to in 2015. Because it's, yeah, like I said, there's like just a ton of stuff coming out, so it's kind of crazy. It'll be interesting. But thanks,
Oh, yeah.
and we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah.
Happy Canada Day.
Later.
Happy what? Happy New Year, actually. Happy 2015, I guess, since I haven't
Yeah,
officially
happy
said it.
2015, you schmucks.
Push the dice up.
All right, peace out.